Hey everyone, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And so on today's Crowley Connect, we have two very special guests from an organization that is doing both not just important things, but a lot of impactful things all across Milwaukee County. We have Dawn and Victor Barnett from the Running Rebels organization, community organization. I want to say welcome to the Crowley Connect. It's such an honor to have you both on with me.
Thank you. We're honored to be here as well.
Thank you so much.
Oh, not a problem. So I know that I know the both of you, and you've been doing, this work for many years, but many people may not know who you are. So can you just share a little bit about yourself as well as the history of the organization and your mission?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually the founder. We talk often about Running Rebels was actually started in my heart. I'm originally from a small town in Mississippi, and I remember growing up as a kid, always older gentlemen around, and they were like big brothers and things like that. So that wanting to make a difference and learning from those gentlemen actually sparked something in me. When my family relocated to Milwaukee, I realized that I wanted to keep young people from being taken away from their friends and families, and hence the beginning of what I wanted to do as far as Running Rebels started. And when I got 19, took in 50 young people, and I became their big brother and mentoring, and here we are 42 years later.
42 years later. Yeah. So it started off with just Victor, and we're just honored to be here and have so many staff and mentors. Mentoring is the core of what we do. But our mission is that we guide Milwaukee youth into adulthood through mentoring, positive programming, and community connection. So that's the heart of who we are.
That's awesome. Again, you guys have been doing amazing work for a long time. And when you think about just the past couple of years, there's been a lot of different issues that our community has been facing with, not just in Milwaukee, but all across the county, across this state, across this country, across this world. But when we talk about issues, what are the most important issues that you see particularly affecting young people in the community? And what is Running Rebels doing to address those issues?
I think a lot of the problems that we have come from the hopelessness that sometimes not just youth, but just people in our communities feel. And those can come from different ills in our community, be it the poverty and the struggling in life and trying to, be successful, the mental health issues that we're dealing with. So I think it's a lot of problems that's happening, but we need to find a way to bring that hope a little bit closer to our residents.
Yeah. And I think for young people, it really is about just helping them process life and looking at how they're viewing life, because that is really the core of what makes them make the decisions that they make. So listen, the last couple of years have been hard for all of us to process, adults alike. So really for us, it's about having that person in your corner, that trusted adult that can really help process things as they're happening with you. And really taking a look at our own thoughts and beliefs and how that plays into our everyday decision making. So when we talk about reckless driving, or when we talk about young people making mistakes that lead them either in the juvenile justice system or leave them hurt or leave them, losing their freedom or losing their life or the lives of people that they love, something's got to give. And it starts with really looking at those high risk situations that they find themselves in almost on a daily basis. And how can we prepare them for those moments in life where they can go this way or they can go that way? And being honest about that and preparing for that really is what we think is one of our greatest tasks.
I love it. Hope and preparation, right? Like that's one of the things that we have to continue to focus on with young people. And we all, as adults, I think we always think about, we were young at one time, but when you think about young people in today's age, I mean, they're facing a much different, things in life than we ever had to. And I think about just having access to the internet. I'm an older millennial, so I remember both, house phones and cell phones, but I was also guarded from many different things, right? And now our young people are being introduced to so much. And even when you think about hope, right, there are so many people now who want to figure out like how do we give back? And so, one question that I always get is what can people do? What can I do to support? And so when you think about who can support, Running Rebels, others in the community, when we talk about, the private sector, nonprofits, or whoever, what can people do to support young people, but in youth initiatives in general? And then I would even ask, specifically, not just supporting young people, but what can people do to support Running Rebels?
I think one of the things and key for me is that people need to look at the whole picture and being able to assist and help in the lanes that are best suited for them and who they trying to help. So being honest, everybody can't come and facilitate a group because they don't have that relationship with the young people. But if that same person is good in the garden, then they can assist with the garden. So I think the key is to work with people that are experts in this field and really know where the need is and being able to plug people, because I think we have a lot of caring people, but we have to put them to where their skill set is the most useful to the young people, because tapping a young brother on his head might be the way somebody do it, but we know that's not, our young brothers don't want to be tapped on the head, but a person that care may not know that. So just being able to place people where they're most needed, I think, is so important.
Yeah, and volunteering is a good way for some people. If they think about something that they're good and passionate about. Victor mentioned gardening. For some people, it might be they're good with the camera, with audio visual, with editing. Finding out the programs that we have, and if there is a particular a skill set that somebody has that they're willing to share with young people, it's definitely something that can be beneficial. Other people, maybe that interaction isn't that thing that is their skill set. So being able to give of their resources. Businesses, same thing. If there's opportunities for you to provide jobs for young people, that's needed as well. And for those who are just like, hey, I'm kind of disconnected from everything, but I just want to make a difference in the lives of young people. I think, it could start with looking at the young people around you. Look at the young people in your family. And think of whether or not they have access to that positive person, or whether or not you could be that positive person in their life. Sometimes we forget about, oh yeah, I do have nieces and nephews, and youth, that I could be more involved with. I could ask them questions instead of us just coming together for Christmas and just eating and hopefully everybody's good. I can have time to sit with them and say, hey, what's going on in your life? Any challenges that you have, or sharing things that you've gone through and that have helped you in life. So it's really about that connection. So yes, you can help Running Rebels, you can volunteer, you can donate, you can do all of that. And you can also take a look at young people around you and say, how can I be that person for somebody else?
That is so real. One thing I always think about is that I always say is that not every role is for everyone, but there's always a role for
Yes,
someone, right? And so we
absolutely.
have to think about that at the end of the day. And I love what you talked about. I call it the 3 T's. You can always donate your time, or treasure, or talent. So
That's
if
right.
if you're looking to support young people or support Running Rebels, look no further than the 3 T's. So,
Yes.
but before I want to close this conversation with a question that I asked our last guest, and I plan on asking all of our guests this particular question, which is, what is your favorite thing about Milwaukee County? And I'm gonna leave it wide open for you. It can be people, it can be places, it can be things. It's your call. But what is your favorite thing about Milwaukee County?
I think one of the things for me is that we have so much talent in this city. I remember many years ago coaching basketball, and I said, wow, there's so much talent here. We just need somebody to open that door. Terry Porter from South Division was one of those people. Once he got in the NBA and started doing what he did, they said, wow, maybe there's other talent in Milwaukee. So now every year we got a lot of young men earning Division I or college scholarships. That door was opened. I think when you talk about community work, you're talking about, some of the poets in our city, some of the entertainers in our city. We have some really talented people here. I think, again, we just need to find a way to get those doors to crack open for them. And then that possibility of those powerful people working together in a unity way, I'm excited about that. And I just know once we get past that hurdle of, are we working together enough, and being able to take the talented people here, I'm looking forward to being able to change some of the things in our cities.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think actually it's starting to bubble. It's starting to move. You know, you have people coming from systems, from law enforcement, community, churches, I think, who all are saying, look, we know that none of us by ourselves can do this. We can't do it ourselves. It really is going to take the time and talents and really the, you know, the strategy of all of us coming together to the table, not about who's getting what and who, you know, who's getting the credit for whatever. It's just saying like, look, our community needs us, and we need to be together on this if we're going to make an impact. So that's what's exciting me, is I'm seeing it happen, and just really can't wait to see what manifests out of that.
I appreciate that. And you know, one of the things I say, you know, throughout the county when I'm working with my team or even some of our partners, you know, it's great that we're collaborating and seeing everybody coming to the table. But now we got to turn that collaboration into coordination and be really intentional how we're moving forward, you know, not just within silos, because we have our organizational goals, but really what is the shared vision, the shared goal, the shared mission as far as what we want to see in our community. So I really appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you to both of you so much for not only being a part of the Crowley Connect, but for all the work that you have been doing for so many years. And I think you both should know that what you're doing is extremely critical to this community. And I personally am grateful for an organization like Running Rebels literally being front and center for our young people. And I also want to say thank you to our viewers and our supporters for tuning into today's episode of the Crowley Connect. See you all next time, and can't wait to the next episode.